Welcome back, everyone, to yet another installation series here with Bavsound. We are in a 2016 Z4. This is applicable all the way back to 2009. It's the E89 chassis. So if your Z4 does not look like this is not the video you should be watching. You should watch the other one, the E86, 85 cars. So, super straightforward. Let's get down to business. So what we're tackling today is our Stage One speaker upgrade, which consists of upgrading every mid-range and tweeter across the car. So from the front sound stage to this is a top HiFi car, so we've got mid-ranges on either side and then a mid-range and a tweeter here as functioning as a center in the rear. Each and every one will be upgraded in this video. We're going to keep it simple because it is, so let's get started. Door panel, 1 screw, 2, 3, 4, and then the entire panel comes off. How do we do that? Simple. Plastic panel removal tool. Do not use your metal tool around these parts. You will regret it later when you destroy the door. So, this just pops right off. Once you get it free, use your fingers if you can. We're just popping right off. Put our parts out of the way. The cover up here, you can actually use your fingernail to pop out. This all will reveal Torx T27s? I can't remember. We'll see though. We'll learn together. It's been a bit since I've been in one of these. So, we pop that out. Using our Bavsound toolkit, which I have over here conveniently out of your site. Highly recommend with the Stage One. Most of you probably ordered it. They are T30s, in fact, Torx T30s. Hold the panel. So again, there are 4 bolts, super straightforward. This holds true passenger and driver's door. I'm just shooting on the passenger door today because why not? It's a beautiful day here in San Diego. It is summer 16. Some of you younger guys might recommend that from the hit song, the artist Drake. It's a rapper for the rest of you, has released. There's somewhere down in here, there's another Torx T30. I'm struggling somewhat right now to find it. Boy howdy, I'm going to have to confirm that I'm not clinically insane. I'm not. There it is. Oddly enough, it's very hard sometimes to find the right hole. All been there. So again, exciting stuff here. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. If you're hearing that for the first time or are confused, please stop and take your Z4 to the nearest Bavsound dealer to have them complete the installation. You needn't be anywhere near the $72,000 automobile. Also, if you've had too many beers and or here in California, Colorado, or Washington, a little too much of the wacky tobacco, maybe tackle it tomorrow, you know? It's a good approach, wise approach. All right, so with our 4 screws removed, we are now ready to extract the door panel, again, using our plastic panel removal tool. So there's a series of clips that follow the outer perimeter of the door, and we're gonna free up a couple of them, and then using our fingers, we're gonna work the rest of the way around. I actually have a little magnet tool here that I like to get all the screws out with. So, it's been about a year since I did the R&D on this car initially, so I don't remember if this comes off before or after, so the tweeter pod that is. So I'm going to take a stab at it right now. If it doesn't come off and requires the door panel to come off first, well, we're going to learn together. So let's see. So we're going to pull out and out. Yeah, okay, so that just comes out. And what do we have here? Lifts up. Just like I thought. Perfect. All right. So it comes out before the door comes off. Does it? Well, you can't really get to the tweeter, so we'll just assume that it does. I don't think it matters. Actually, looking at it, it doesn't matter whether you took it off before or after. In fact, we should probably just leave it on, take the door panel off first so we can see the door panel sits in front of it, because we actually just need to unplug this from the mid-range. It goes down and plugs directly into the mid-range. So it's okay. Actually, it gives us a little access point up here to go ahead and start the removal process. Look at that. We didn't even need to use our... There's clearly another screw down here that I've forgotten, maybe? It's possible. I forget things from time to time, but it's definitely tight right around here. So let me grab my panel removal tool. Again, it's been a bit since I've been in here. that doesn't come out, so my guess is that there is not another screw in here. It's just super tight, unless there's a screw behind this, which would be highly unlikely. I could probably go look at all my install notes from last year, but that just takes too long. Nope, just tight clips. Boy, look, these are tight. So look, these little guys are gonna fall off. Make sure we put those back on the clips, and I'll go over that with you when we get to that part. These are tight. Perfect. All right. So now we'll go through and repair all that, put everything back together. So now, using our metal panel removal tool in our Bavsound toolkit, we've got to remove all these wiring harnesses from the door because there's 100 of them. Now I remember you, Z4, or for those of you across the pond, Z4, and those of you out back, it's a bad joke, I guess. All right, so we'll unplug all this stuff. Disconnect our door panel like so. Lift up on, I should just take this right up. Oh, that is different from every other. Boy, all these wonderful clips just, how about that? Broken, just broken. So you may experience that also in your Z4. So I might advise having a replacement lined up from the dealer, because that, I have taken apart tens of thousands of these and never seen a brand new car break like that. So that seems to be something we're going to need to maybe deal with. Then again, we're just prying these harnesses off because we just want working space. Now, some of you might just leave this in your lap and do the install right here, which makes sense, actually. I have forgotten how many clips they put in this Z4. My goodness. How about one more, guys? Let's put one more, just for austerity's sake. Goodness gracious. All right. So, and with that, we can take off our door panel, and again, collect the clips, collect the little pad foam rings. Man, oh man, that is something else. Is that the broken one? This car has literally 0 miles on it. And that was an absolutely flawed design. Pause it. Yeah, I wish we could go. There's one that stayed in the door there. So actually, that's kind of cool. You guys see that? I'll show you how to pop that out. It's using our metal panel removal tool. Just pop that guy out. Put him right back in the door card. He's totally fine. So you need to double up there. You've got a screw right there, so we'll take this guy, put him up here, and all will be well. So, door panel's off. Let's kind of put it to the side here. And we're going to come right to the mid-range and the tweeter. So the mid-range, as you see, has to come out first. And that is held in by what appears to be a Torx T20. So now, to hunt one of those down. Yep. That in and of itself could prove challenging today. And that is proving challenging. Oh, there's one. So, again, a very simple swap out here. Boy, look at that. That is tight on there, isn't it? It is a special design. So, we simply unplug the OE mid here, in with the Bavsound mid, which is our brand new neodymium motor structure for the Z4s. And again, this is a prototype, so I don't have the plugs, but you plug it in, then you loop the tweeter up, plug in the capacitor harness. It's super straightforward. As you see, it bolts right into the factory location, just like so. And then, with regards to the tweeter, pop out the foam padding. Grab in your kit is a little tweeter, a little right angle pick. And then this tweeter is just held in by a couple of clips on the side here. It pries right out, as you can see, effortlessly. And then we have our big, beautiful machined aluminum housing silk dome tweeter, which my pride and joy pops right in to the factory housing like so. And in your kit will come a little bead. The Z4 is the one car with the OD of the tweeter is like a millimeter bigger than every other car. So what we'll do is our tweeter drops right in, and of course it fits perfectly. It's super sexy in there, but we're gonna have to put a couple of beads of glue, just like on this factory tweeter where they're using this sloppy glue, but we're gonna put a bead of glue at 3, 6, and 12 o'clock, and maybe 9 o'clock, you know, why not? So you're gonna wanna let that cure for about half an hour. The glue will be included with the kit. You'll do that with both front tweeters. So my suggestion to you would be get both door panels off, front door panels, and do the tweeters at the same time on your workspace. So just to let the glue set up. So again, super straightforward. Obviously, installation is reverse of the removal. We're not going to cover that process because it's so straightforward, and we're just putting this harness back together. There's nothing tricky, nothing custom you need to be aware of, just whoosh. So we're going to pause it right here. I'm going to get everything back together, and we'll come as I'm putting the door panel back on so I can go over a couple quick tips with you. All right, guys, so the trick to this tweeter pod, it is easier to reinstall with the door off. So you can see there's a little tab down here on the bottom and then a clip on the top that slides into this female receptacle here. So the trick is there's a little slot here. We work it in like so. We want that under there. We line up that, push it in. This fits all around here perfectly. You can see it's a perfect fit like that. And voila, that's it. That's how our tweeter housing goes back on. So we tuck this kind of out of the way. Is that my dog? We have, many of you have seen Lainey in our other videos. Now, you got to be super careful when you're putting this harness back on because as you see, it actually mounts to the mid-range housing. So when you're putting this door panel back on, you've got to pay super attention to how this harness aligns when we redo this process. So let's do this first. Let's do this whole harness first. So at this point, we just realign the harness to those factory connectors that it was on in the early stages. Clip them back in, catch them back up. Boy, what a journey this harness makes, huh? Look at that. So, oh, fantastic. That is tight. Okay. So, put you one more space back here. I can't quite see right there. Plug in right there. Again, the key is you don't want to cover these holes where we're screwing things in. Then we bring up the door handle, get it back in its channel. Make sure the door handle is closed up here. It hooks down, snaps in. Just get it back in its little channel. So right there. Do one more down here. And then line up the lot over here. You can see this just wants to fall back down on the speaker. So you want to line up this top door lock here. Like so. They make that super easy. And then get this at the top of the door. It'll slot right in. So, and then just using your hands. Just like that. Now, the question is, did that harness stay out of the way of the midwoofer? So the answer is, in this particular case is yes, thank goodness. And now, you just line up the holes on the way around. There we go. Perfect. And then you kind of Perfecto. Make sure everything is good. And at this point, we simply reinstall our bolts that held everything together. So those of you that kind of already get this, you can probably stop watching at this point because there's nothing else to see. We're just reinstalling these speakers, or these screws rather. So why don't we just kind of wrap it up here for everyone, and then reconnect on the center channel driver there above the top of the navigation screen, and then we'll just work our way around the car from there. All right, guys, so with the doors buttoned up, we can now move towards our center channel and wrap up the front sound stage before heading rearward. Again, beyond straightforward. Plastic panel removal tool. Don't use your metal. Just take an edge, put your thumb, pry. I know it's tricky. I know you think, oh my God, this is my brand new. Well, it is, but good news is it was built very, very, very well, and this just pops right out, revealing our center channel driver. So just unplug this remote sensor, just a little 3-pin plug, just pull straight down. Now, for our application, the way we get this out is as follows. In our toolkit, we include for you an 8mm driver, nut driver, and a right angle driver. And that is how we will remove this. That's the 7mm. There's an 8 as well, which is the one you will need. All right. So, pretty slick. Just like that. Easiest thing to do is just break them free like this, and then pull the bit out and spin them out. Super fast. Yep. It's all good, but it's kind of, I wouldn't say kind of tricky, a little tricky back here. Show you. We're gonna have to check our bill of materials. So this lifts right out of here and unplugs, like so. Now, what we do is this. So as you can see, BMW once again glues their tweeter into the housing. So I'm not going to pry this one out of here. So what we do, and I'll just talk you through it, it's super easy. Right angle pick. See, there's a there's a little tab here, a little tab here, and a little tab here. There's really only 3, and then this schmutz here. There's our UPS guy. Good day. It's too hot to, otherwise we'd have it closed up. So we just pry this tweeter out. Again, drop our tweeter back in the same location. Couple dabs of glue, just like the OE tweeter. Mid-range, again, super straightforward, just drops right in. Very, very easy to do. Out with the old, in with the new. Beautiful, super simple upgrade for that center channel. So we take this harsh, brittle metal tweeter out, put it in a big, delicious, beautiful, warm silk tweeter, drop it back in, bolt it back up, plug it back in, and we're done. There's nothing complex about it. It's surprisingly simple to do this car. The entire Stage One, I'm knocking it out in an hour. You'll probably be 2, maybe 2.5, 3. I don't know. Who knows? But that is it. That's all we got going. So let's wrap this up, and then we're going to head back to the rear of the car and tackle the easiest rear speaker upgrade the world has ever known. Next on Bavsound. All right, so rear side fill mid ranges. Get ready. In 1 minute, we'll have upgraded this speaker. Are you ready? Maybe 10 seconds. Plastic panel removal tool from the top. Work your way around. 1, 2, 3, out. 1, 2, 3, in. With the Bavsound driver. You got it. You guys have it. Same on both sides. Reinstallation is as follows. Beep, beep, beep. Done. All right. Now, this one's a little tricky, and I say tricky in the sense that the tweeter is attached to the grill. There's a tweeter in a mid-range here. If it's a top HiFi. I don't even remember, truth be told. Our friends at BMW of Encinitas just provided us with this car. And so, if you have a top HiFi, there will be a tweeter attached to the grill and a mid-range here. If you just have a HiFi, I think there might just be a mid-range here. Again, I did this about 1.5 years ago, and you know, my memory's just, it's just not what it used to be. So, again, plastic panel removal tool, the grill, pries out. Well, this one's tighter. Am I doing something wrong here? No, it's just really tight. Here we go. That's all. So this is tight. Those of you with older Z4s, these are going to come right out. This is a brand new car, so. Yep, this one's at it too. So, as you can see, the way this is done, the tweeter is in the housing like this. It unplugs from here. And this is an extension up from the mid-range. Now, I'm going to actually show you how to do this because it is a slight variation from what you would otherwise logically do. So, this is a Phillips number 2 fastening the mid-range to the car. And look at that slick little hole right there. Somebody thought of that. Thanks, guys. All right, so with the Bavsound, it'll make a little bit more sense here in a moment when I show you. They just allowed clearance for this too. So it's a tight fit when we put it back in. So we undo the mid by twisting and pulling out like so. And then these are actually wired in series. So this is the same wire. So what we do is we pull this out from the back. So that just comes out like so. And then we just pull this all off like that. And now this can just hang out back there. These are the same wires, so you can use either one to plug back into the, actually you'll plug this one into the mid-range. This will just hang out back here. And then what we'll do with the Bavsound tweeter, we'll reinstall it here just like the factory. This one pops right out. The Bavsound one snaps right back in. A couple dabs of glue just like the factory. And then we'll take the Bavsound tweeter, however, because it's much larger and much more comprehensive. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the capacitor harness behind the mid-range like so. So again, this plugs into this side. So what we'll do is we'll put the cap harness back here like that, and then we will feed it. Oh, that's right. You know, I don't think I ended up reusing that. I think they're trying to seal that mid, but it's just functioning as a, it's just not important in this application. It's functioning as fill. It's not a dedicated mid woofer, so we're totally fine. So then that will plug in to the loop coming off of the mid-range. The factory mid-range plug, or the Bavsound mid-range plugs right back into here. We put everything back together, snap the grill back on, like so, and keep that tweeter out of the way of the mid-range. And for those of you that are super duper anal, more power to you, by the way. You can also, if you want, take this and work it through here. It can be done. I'm just not going to do it right now. And quite frankly, acoustically, it just doesn't matter. But good on them for doing this. And you too could do it the same way. So that's all we're doing back here. Nothing tricky, just a little different than the standard kind of plug and play stuff. It's super clear. This is a little bit more confusing. So outside of that, that's really it. And then of course we just reinstall it the way it came out. So that's really pretty much it, guys. That is how we tackle the Stage 1 in the Z4. Now we have a ghost upgrade for this car as well. We don't offer it in the DIY space, however, because the entire rear end of this car has to come out. It is a very, very, very labor-intensive process. And it's just not something we support. Now, if you want to do it, we have done it. Our dealers have done it. It sounds incredible, but it's something you want to pay a professional to do because the entire car needs to come apart to do it properly. So, and you want it back together properly because we're talking about structure here as opposed to just, you know, popping a door panel off, which is super easy. So, anyway, that wraps up that. And we look forward to seeing all of you Z4 guys on the road, having fun, Z4ing it up, Z4ing it up for the rest of you across the pond. And on that note, we will see you guys on the flip side.